Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video, doing European outlook for today's second video. So it's on a Thursday, having a look at the weather for the next week, 10 days in detail across Europe. So I shall get on with that for you in a second. Just to say that the first video is our 7 AM forecast, and we've also got a 10 to 14 day with all of the regular features coming up for you later on today as well. Please like, share, subscribe on all our videos. Thank you everybody for doing that. Right, so I'll turn the webcam off, and we shall start with today's weather then, across Europe. So, things have cooled down across southern Europe for the time being. I think that's the main sort of headline at the moment. Things are a little bit cooler, not as hot across some parts of Europe. You have a look at upper air temperatures in a moment. There's a lot of dry weather through most of the Med. There's not much away of precipitation around, but as I say, things have cooled down. Further north, got this deep area of low pressure digging in over Scandinavia, so that's bringing much cooler and also unsettled conditions to northern Europe. Elsewhere, under a ridge of high pressure, there's quite a bit of dry weather around today, I think. Upper air temperatures look like that. So, of course, still very warm to hot across most parts of the Med, as you would expect. This time of year, it's still high summer, so still really hot through much of Spain. Italy and the central part of the Med looking quite hot, and particularly hot down around Greece as well. Temperatures like still into the mid-30s Celsius quite widely through many parts of Med. Going further north, which is nowhere near as hot as that, it's quite warm up this eastern side of Europe into southwest parts of Russia, cool through Scandinavia, and then most other parts of Europe actually probably a little bit below par for the upper air temperatures. There is plenty of dry weather around today. One or two rogue thunderstorms through eastern parts of Spain, but many areas looking dry through the Med, hot and sunny as you would expect. Going further northwards, it's mainly dry through this eastern part of Europe, just not as hot as it has been through the Balkans, for example. And many central western parts of Europe are actually quite dry today as well. Some showery bursts into parts of Ireland and England and Wales. And then more definitively unsettled across the northern parts of Europe with that area low pressure bringing heavy showers and longer spells of rain to Scandinavia and also northeast Europe, Baltic Sea countries. Temperatures look pretty hot through most parts of Med. As I say, we're widely into the mid-30s Celsius, especially through southern parts of Spain and also in parts of Greece as well. Northwards of that, I mean, it's relatively warm. Temperatures are like mid to upper 20s Celsius across France and in this southeastern corner as well. So it's around the Balkans. Again, we see temperature at least into the upper 20s, if not the low 30s Celsius. Just not as intensely hot as it has been. And then further north still, it gets a lot cooler as you get to Scandinavia. Actually looking quite autumnal there, with temperatures pegged back just into the mid to upper teens Celsius at best. Tomorrow, we're going to take that area of low pressure a little bit further northwards over Scandinavia. At the same time, low pressure is trying to start heading in towards Ireland and the UK. The rest of Europe generally under a bit of a ridge. Tomorrow should be quite a bit of dry weather once again. Upper air temperatures still looking very warm, too hot across most parts of southern Europe, cooler across northern parts of Europe, maybe getting a little bit hotter across this southeastern part of Europe again, so the heat might start to intensify a little bit through the Balkans again tomorrow. Northern Europe looking a lot cooler though, especially around Scandinavia. A lot of dry weather again tomorrow, showers, so showery bursts over Scandinavia, and a few showers kicking off over the Alps, some over the Italian mountains as well, but many areas across southern western Europe will be dry, and they'll have this band of rain moving in towards Ireland, so that could be quite heavy through the course of Friday afternoon. Temperatures will be pretty hot across Spain, and again, much of the Mediterranean looking quite hot, a bit hotter through the southeastern Europe, from the Balkans to Black Sea. Temperatures there perhaps going back up towards the mid-30s Celsius once again. Heading further northwards, it's not as warm or as hot across northern Europe. In fact, it's quite cool through Scandinavia and into the northeast part of Europe. A little bit warmer through the UK as well. The heat over France is just starting to extend that little bit further northwards as well into parts of England and Wales, where Scotland and Ireland looking quite cool. Saturday, low pressure starts to move in from the Atlantic into western parts of Europe. High pressure is trying to begin to build over Scandinavia in the wake of that low pressure, moving towards Finland and in towards the northwestern part of Russia. Same time, a ridge extends down through many central and eastern parts of Europe. It looks like we're beginning to pull hotter air back in to southern Europe again from Africa. So the upper air temperatures are looking hotter again on Saturday, especially so in this southwestern part of the Mediterranean Sea, how the heat extends down into North Africa. Further north, so northern Europe looking positively autumnal, and those warmer upper air temperatures over France are beginning to push eastwards into parts of southern Germany and possibly through to Poland as well. It's a mainly dry scene, 1 or 2 rogue thunderstorms kicking off around Greece, but most parts of southern Europe are dry. Much of eastern Europe looks dry as well, but showers over Scandinavia as they push in towards Finland and Baltic Sea areas are beginning to ease down a little bit as well, so turning drier through Scandinavia. The main area of wet weather is through the UK and Ireland, some heavy and persistent, maybe actually quite thundery rain through there, but most areas are actually looking dry on Saturday. Temperatures will be getting hotter again across southern Europe. Southern Spain, for example, might be going back into the upper 30s Celsius. Once again, getting back into 100s Fahrenheit. And just generally very warm to hot across most parts of the Med. Temperatures again mid 30s Celsius quite widely. The warmth extending northwards into parts of France, I think into 30 Celsius there. And possibly into southern Germany. Even the Low Countries might be knocking on the door, but 30 degrees by Saturday. Although cooler air will be starting to push back in to Ireland and the UK, and the warmth never gets up to Scandinavia there. It stays pretty cool throughout. Sunday, we'll take that area of low pressure from the UK and move it in towards the Low Countries and Germany, probably taking heavy showers and thunderstorms there as well. High pressure increasingly building towards parts of Norway, and then southern Europe again is looking pretty hot. The heat is again pushing out of Africa into Spain and into this central bowl of the Med, so becoming hotter there. Looking pretty hot through Italy and around the Balkans, the Adriatic, and then going down into towards Greece and Turkey as well. Warmth extending up in towards Germany and Poland, but Scandinavia, well, certainly many parts of Scandinavia looking quite cool. Southwestern Norway actually looks a little bit warmer, and it seems turning a bit cooler for the UK and Ireland again once more. Most parts of the Med look dry, hot and sunny. Eastern Europe looking dry, hot and sunny too. Some showers around Scandinavia. The main area of wet weather will be through northeastern France into the Low Countries, Belgium, Holland, Netherlands, and then eastwards into Germany, possibly just getting into Denmark as well. And some of those downpours might start to get towards Poland too. Much of western and southwestern Europe, though, looking relatively dry. And it's going to be hot on Sunday through the Med. Again, temperatures will be widely into the upper 30s Celsius. And it's hotter again, you'll notice, around the Balkans, between the Balkans and the Black Sea. Again, the temperature is into the upper 30s Celsius through there. Much cooler further north and west you go. Monday sees high pressure beginning to take over across northern and western parts of Europe. This area of low pressure from Germany begins to extend in towards Poland, and then most parts of southern Europe looking pretty hot once more. Upper air temperatures looking very hot down across southern Europe and in the southeastern corner too, so the heat is intensifying again by the early part of next week across southern and southeastern Europe. At the same time, northern Europe again looking quite cool, autumnal from northern Scandinavia down into the Baltic Sea. It is becoming warmer across western Europe and that ridge area of high pressure. It's mainly dry through most parts of northern and western Europe. We have heavy showers and thunderstorms also from Germany extending in towards Poland, and then possibly coming down into like Austria and Hungary. Most parts of southern Europe again mainly dry, hot and sunny, and this east and southeast part of Europe looking pretty hot as well. Up the surface temperatures again reflecting that hot through most parts of southern southeastern Europe. Cooler though in the north and in the northwest. And then we're through into Tuesday. High pressure is taking over across northern and west parts of Europe, although a trough is trying to dig back in towards Scandinavia. But we've got this area of high pressure over the UK and Ireland extending in towards southern parts of Scandinavia and Germany as well. Further southwards into Mediterranean, everything looking rather slack there, as you'd expect at this time of the year. Looking very, very hot with the upper air temperatures by this point across Spain. And again, most parts of the Med looking really hot as well, and this southeastern part of Europe too. Further northwards, we are bringing cooler air back into northern east part of Scandinavia and beginning to move that into the eastern, northeastern part of Europe. That might start triggering some thunderstorms as it runs into this hotter air in the southeastern corner. Then under the area of high pressure, of course, we've got relatively warm upper air temperatures, although we do start bringing something a little bit cooler in from the east into southern and eastern parts of the UK and northern parts of France. Lots of dry weather across West Europe, I should expect, under that area of high pressure, but there is some wet weather moving in towards Norway. There's heavy thunderstorms through Poland, just extending in towards Ukraine, and some of those beginning to break out down towards the Balkans as well, as those cooler temperatures begin to clash with the hot temperatures across southern, southeastern parts of Europe. Again, most parts of the Med look mostly dry, but there are a few rogue thunderstorms through central parts of Italy and some mountainous areas of Spain, perhaps. Temperatures on Tuesday, again, looking very hot through most parts of southern Europe, a lot cooler further northwards, though. And those cooler temperatures are beginning to dig a little bit further southwards, so the heat perhaps easing across the Balkans again, for example, as those thunderstorms begin to start threatening to break out. Wednesday, we're taking the high pressure away to the northwest, centering it around Iceland, between Scotland and Iceland. This pulls in cooler northerly, northeasterly winds into northern and western parts of Europe. There's an area of low pressure, a trough of low pressure, getting going over Scandinavia. Again, very slack across most parts of southern Europe. Upper air temperatures looking quite a lot cooler actually across northern Europe, and those cooler upper air temperatures are beginning to push southwards and westwards as well, as the high pressure begins to start edging towards Iceland and Greenland. Hot upper air temperatures again across most parts of southern Europe, but beginning to ease, or the upper air temperatures during the heat easing a little bit in this southeastern corner. That low pressure brings lots of heavy rain to Scandinavia. It could be thunderstorms mixed in too, and that wet weather pushes down in towards northern parts of Germany by the end of Wednesday. Perhaps some heavy showers breaking out, thunderstorms breaking out across the Ukraine, and one or two rogue storms down in towards the Balkans as well. Again, south of that, most areas are dry, but a few storms break out over the Pyrenees and also over the Alps. Much of France, Ireland and the UK look dry. Temperatures are cool across northern Europe, but hot in the south. Perhaps not quite as hot as they have been, though. And the southeastern corner, again, of the Med looking pretty hot through there. And then we go on into Thursday, and the high pressure is like a non-blocking feature at this point around Iceland, and again this pulls in quite cool winds across northern and western Europe from an east or northeasterly direction, with low pressure by this point moving down towards Denmark and northern parts of Germany and Poland. Upper air temperatures look pretty cool actually in many northern and western central parts of Europe. Hot upper air temperatures though down across southern parts of Europe. In fact, the heat could be starting to show signs of reloading again in the central bowl of the Med and through eastern parts of Spain. So it's unsettled across many northern parts of Europe on Thursday next week. Heavy showers and longer spells of rain through much of Scandinavia, down in towards northern Germany, northern Poland, back in towards the Low Countries, even perhaps bringing a few showers in towards eastern parts of England and Scotland, maybe. Most of Western Europe, though, does look relatively dry. Storms begin to break out over the Alps. That's probably the first sort of autumnal storms beginning to get going over the Alpine areas. Again, it's just as the air masses are clashing with the hot air across southern Europe, clashing with that cooler autumnal air digging in further north. Most parts of the Med and eastern southeast Europe looking mainly dry, hot and sunny. Temperatures look like that. A proper north-south split by this point, so quite cool with the temperatures across northern Europe. Quite hot though still, or very hot with those temperatures across southern Europe. Just take you on to day 10. So this is how things look on Friday next week. Low pressure then is still across northern parts of Europe. This area of high pressure out to the northwest, keeping wind in from the northeast. So pretty cool across much of northern and western Europe. Looking quite hot though across southern Europe once again. And then as we go through into Saturday and also Sunday, Sunday 29th of August, day 10, an area of high pressure beginning to come back in over the UK and Ireland. That turns things perhaps a bit warmer and drier there, whereas much of northern and increasingly eastern parts of Europe actually looking cooler with those winds in from the north. Let's have a look at the upper air temperatures at day 10. So you'll see much cooler areas pushing southwards into this eastern part of Europe. So around the Balkans, I think the temperature will probably be, if this comes off, the temperatures will be cooler than they have been maybe for 2 or 3 months through there. Most of southern Europe is still looking hot, and the heat is there through Greece and Turkey as well. So yeah, plenty more hot weather to come across the south and the southeast of Europe. It is going to be cooler in the north and west of Europe, in fact quite autumnal over Scandinavia, and we will get some of that cooler air southwards, westwards, and eventually southeastwards as well by the time we get through to the end of next week. Right, that's it for your European outlook for this week. We're back later on for 10 to 14 day. We include all of red features. But for the European outlook for today, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.